Well, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming to you from my home here in Columbus. I want to thank all my loyal viewers for tuning in out there in YouTube land here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and making this possible. I got the news and the notes of the week. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. Ohio State beat Michigan State last Saturday night, 48-37. Now, Ohio State controls their own destiny, but they still need some help if they want to win the national championship. What they need to do, they got to win their next 3 games and win the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State plays Minnesota next week. They got to go to Minnesota where they get to play in the snowstorm. But I think Ohio State will come out on top. JT Barrett, I trust you to be my starter. Braxton Miller wants to come back. I think it would be better for Braxton Miller just to go pro now and let JT Barrett take over the team. I think Urban Meyer wants to have either Barrett, JT Barrett, or Braxton Miller start next season. I personally think it's a bad move. I think just let Barrett run the team. He has brought the team back in winning the national championship. I think Ohio State, we need help if we want to win the national title, but we also got to win the rest of our games. I think Ohio State has a chance of getting into that Final Four playoff for the national championship. That's how I feel right now, and we'll have to wait and see what happens down the road. But for right now, Ohio State needs to win out, and they need help. They need it. Did any of you guys I want to ask you guys something. Did you have a chance to see that Texas A&M Auburn game last Saturday? When Texas A&M upset Auburn? However, did you see the final 30 seconds of that ball game? When Auburn must have been watching the Three Stooges or something. You got Curly as the center, Larry as the quarterback, and Mo as the coach. Mo's out there saying, "Come on, guys," and Larry's looking over at Mo saying, "What do we do?" Then Curly all of a sudden snaps the ball. It looked like a Three Stooges play. And Mo would have been like, "What are you guys trying to do? Lose this game?" And Curly must have been like, "Certainly. Nah. Hey, come on, Mo. What can you go wrong? At least I snapped it." "Oh, you little..." You get the idea. Texas A&M upset Auburn 41-38 on Saturday. Now, Auburn's out of the running for the national championship. Ohio State jumped up 6 spots. With our win over Michigan State and Auburn going down, we have leapfrogged Auburn. We're number 8 now. So we have a chance of winning the national championship. But now, on Sunday, actually last Thursday night, I watched the Battle of Ohio. Cleveland beat Cincinnati 24-3, and for the first time in 19 years, the Cleveland Browns are in first place in the NFC North. No one would have ever thought of this back during the preseason. The Browns are looking great right now. I think they can win the division. They may get in the playoffs, but we still got a ways to go yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens down the road. But right now, I think Cleveland can win the NFC North. And we'll have to wait and see what happens from there. Did you guys watch the Jets-Steelers game on Sunday? Did you see how the Jets defense stopped Ben Roethlisberger and only held him to 6 points? It was a 23-6 victory, I think. I could be wrong. If I'm incorrect on that, please let me know, and I'll correct it tomorrow night on my Facebook page. But anyway, the Jets beat the Steelers 23-6, and they're part of the reason why the Browns are in first place in the NFC North. We beat the Bengals, and the Browns beat the Bengals last Thursday night. That was a big victory. It was a great day for the Browns It was a great night for the Browns on Thursday night, but it was a great night last night. It was a great victory the other night when the Jets beat the Steelers, which really helped us in the long run. But also last Saturday night, Alabama escaped over LSU 20-13 in overtime. LSU had chance after chance after chance to put it away. They couldn't get the job done. They had a chance to win it in overtime. They gave it away, so Alabama escapes 20-13 with a big victory, and they come out of there with a win in Death Valley. And that was a great game Saturday night out in the Bayou. That was something to think about. That was one whale of a game. So congratulations to Alabama. But they also got a big test coming up next week in Tuscaloosa. Next Saturday, 3:30 on CBS, we got Mississippi State versus Alabama. That, my friends, is going to be the game of the day. Bottom line, Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And if you were to ask me right now who would win the Heisman Trophy, it would either be Dak Prescott of Mississippi State, Bo Wallace of Ole Miss, and believe it or not, folks, I'm throwing it out there. I know it's 150-1 long shot, but I would say JT Barrett of Ohio State. I think one of those three will win the Heisman right now. That's my feeling. That's my take on it. But I'm going to throw in one more for good measure. Marcus Mariota of Oregon. Those four guys, one of those four will win the Heisman Trophy. And everybody's saying, what about Jameis Winston? I ain't giving Jameis Winston nothing. All his off-the-field garbage, all the field crap that he's pulled, he's jumped on the table to student union. He made a complete fool of himself. And everything that's going on with the sex scandal in Florida State, they're going to call off the hearing. I think there's more to that than meets the eye. Bottom line. And that's all I got to say about that. But I'm going to tell you, folks, as far as the college football landscape goes, folks, it's only going to get crazy. It ain't over yet. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you want Ohio State to win the national championship, they need to win the Big Ten championship game, and they're going to need some help. And they need help as in maybe Alabama upset Mississippi State on Saturday. But what about Arizona State, what they did to Notre Dame? Could we possibly be talking about a Rose Bowl rematch against Arizona State? But let's just hope, if that does happen, let's just hope and pray Brett Musburger doesn't have to call. Because I remember what happened the last time those two played in the Rose Bowl. Brett Musburger had his face so buried up Jake the Snake Plumber's backside it wasn't even funny. But when Ohio State came out with the victory, did you notice he had nothing to say? As a matter of fact, when Arizona State scored that touchdown, they gave him the lead over Ohio State, he was like, touchdown! The Snake does it again! He will not die! It's not over yet! Yeah, but when Joe Germain drove down the field with about a minute 30 left, but about a minute and a half to go, he drove the field, put it in the end zone, and Ohio State came out with the victory. Boy, did you notice that Musburger had nothing to say about that? Ohio State basically shut him up. And personally, I was glad. But you know what, though? We got the chase for the cup coming up. Did you see that race at Phoenix when Ryan Newman slammed Carl Larson into the wall, coming off of turn 4 on the final lap, which got him into the chase? That was a great race Sunday. And you know, with everything with Jeff Gordon versus Brad Keselowski, neither one of those two are in the Final Four for the chase for the cup. The Final Four drivers are Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin. One of those four will win the championship, and we're going to have a new champion in NASCAR in the Sprint Cup Series because none of those four have ever won it. So, folks, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a crazy race at Homestead on Sunday. But you know what, though? It's been a great season in NASCAR so far. Dale Jr. winning his second Daytona 500, something his daddy never had the chance to do. But what a great weekend it was last weekend. And this coming Saturday, I'm going to say it again. The two big sporting events of the weekend are Mississippi State versus Alabama, Saturday at 3:30. But we do have Ohio State playing Minnesota at noon on ABC. But we also have Mississippi State playing Alabama at 3:30 on CBS on Saturday. That is going to be the game of the day. Tune in. I encourage you guys to watch Mississippi State Alabama because I got a strange feeling whoever wins that ball game is going to be in the driver's seat to win the SEC West. It's not over yet. I think the East may be decided. I think either Georgia or Missouri are going to win the East. I think it's either going to be Georgia winning the East as it stands right now. It could change. Subject to change, however, but it's not over yet. It's only going to get better. Then on Sunday, the Ford EcoBoost 400 at Homestead, the race that decides the championship. It's going to be a great day on Sunday. But before I go, I want to thank all of you for tuning in who tune in every week. So tonight's show is sponsored in part by you, the fans, who make this possible every week for me to come on the air and do these shows. Next week, I'll be doing a special Wednesday show because I got something going on Tuesday night. I will be back next Wednesday for a new slew of sports highlights of the weekend, and I'll bring you up to date of what's going on. And I'll preview next week's game with Indiana Ohio State, and I'll have a post-game reaction from Ohio State, Minnesota next week. And folks, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this now. I will be doing another audience participation show in about a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. I'll post that on my Facebook page, and where you fans get to ask me questions. If you want my opinion on something, send it to me on my Facebook page, and I'll put it on my YouTube show. Or if you have any questions or any concerns, I'll just let you know on that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for tonight and say, this is Scott Manning saying good night, good luck, and thank you. And I thank you, and good night.